Moving ahead with using PyCharm ID, uh, right now, after opening your particular your ID, you will be seeing that blank. Nothing is, you'll not be able to see any of your projects. So for that, you need to go to your file, open any of the project. I'll provide you one of my project, that is Flask demo, where I've written some codes and I'll explain you those. Uh, this window thing. Okay, yeah. So this is the code. Actually, it's a very simple code, and opening now. See, you'll in this particular project there will be many folders, static, and in the static there will be CSS for the uh, like for the content for. I'll show you all those. Explain you all those. Whatever features are included in this particular project. Right now, I am opening this app.py file. Here, I have written this code. Uh, Now, let me explain you about PyCharm. So, PyCharm, why I'm basically teaching you this particular project in PyCharm ID, because PyCharm is much better in terms of features compared to those provided by your ID, that is Jupyter Notebook. For example, benefits of PyCharm over Jupyter, like server side and client side debugging can be done, as you can debug your code. This is the way later words I'll explain you about debugging also. These are also possible in your PyCharm. And productionizing our code or pushing our code to GitHub repository directly from your Python is possible. PyCharm is possible. That's not possible in case of your Jupyter. And there are many other benefits, like we can build small to very big project like company level project in your PyCharm ID. That is not possible in case of other IDs. So right now, let's start with whenever you start with a project in PyCharm, you have to do some repeated steps. Like for example, see, different project must be having different modules to be imported. We can't have same environment for all the projects that you're doing. For example, you're doing 10 to 20 multiple projects. So in that particular, you need to have uh, some modules imported, but you don't need those imported modules in your other project. So every time you start a project, every time you work with a particular project, you need to start a. I'll guide you how. Go to file and then go to settings. Where is it? It's fine, settings. And there you will see your project name. So my project name is like class demo. So you have to select your project, click on it, and then Python interpreter. Since you need Python interpreter to run your Python program, so you have to select this. And since ID never understands a code, your interpreter understands it. So Python interpreters is must. Like as I said before, ID doesn't understands whatever you write. It connects your code with in backend with your Python interpreter, and then it's able to uh, get you output, get your output to your code. So that's why you're choosing Python interpreter over here. Now you will see a gear button. See, this is a gear button here over here. For some updated version, gear button is on top left corner, but for me it's on right. And you have to click add. So this will add a new interpreter. Choose a Conda environment right now. So as we know that Conda environment have all the setup done and libraries installed. So like Jupyter notebook is based on Conda environment as well. So in that every setup is done as beforehand. So you have to just pick and choose those libraries for you instead of installing one by one those libraries. So in location, just give your name like location wherever you have installed your Conda. There it will create your environment, a virtual environment. and it can create any number of virtual environment. You can create any number of virtual environment. For this particular project, I'm creating one virtual environment. For some other project, I'll be creating another virtual environment. So multiple virtual environments are possible. All virtual environments are independent from each other, having their own module setup done, as I said before. So as you can work on different projects with different virtual environment setup. Select Python version from here. Since many modules upcoming in upcoming lectures, I'll be talking about modules which will not support this 3.9 version. So better to move ahead with 3.6 or 3.7. But this particular Flask that we will import in our code, that will definitely work with 3.9. So I can choose 3.9 here as well. And Conda executable. So Conda executable, it invokes all the installation already done before. This is the feature of this Conda executable. Then just click on OK. Make available to all projects. Why it's not? That is not empty. I can give another name. Yeah, fine. As this project I have already opened before with this particular name, so I'm giving Flash Demo 1. Now click OK. This will be creating your Conda environment. It will be doing all the setups, required setups. It will take some time depending on your system and internet connectivity. Yeah. Now click on apply and then press OK. So here you will be seeing that updating skeletons is proceeding. It's actually running in your background. See, now you can see that whatever we tried to import, these are not actually it's showing highlighted as red underline. That means this package is not set up for us in this particular environment, virtual environment. As I said before, every virtual environment set is you should create a different virtual environment, unique virtual environment for your project. So when for this particular project, as I showed you all the settings, after proceeding ahead with those settings, new virtual environment is created, and these uh, particular modules are highlighted. That means these are not present in my system. So actually, it's present in my system, but not in this particular virtual environment. So I have to install this in my particular this particular virtual environment. Then after installation is complete, I'll move ahead with the import statement. Sorry. So I'll have to open terminal. Here I'll have to write pip install Flask. Yeah, and press enter. Now it will start installing your Flask module in this particular environment. See, in the or now after some indexing is done, you can see you must have seen a background indexing was done. After that, this highlight part was is gone right now. So it has now imported. Am I able to import these particular modules into my this virtual system environment? So now explaining this code right now. So you able to see this particular code from definition. Let us copy this particular code till here and wait a second. So after copying that particular code, uh, I'll move to this over here. find soap and rusty. So I have added this particular function which I defined, and let me remove some of the lines that are used in like for the that are part of PyCharm actually. Sorry, that are part of Flask module. So this is a very basic function, like some math operation, right? Plus, add, uh, multiply, divide. If the operation is add, you have to add those two numbers. What you do generally, you call this function math. Let me copy this. Yeah, math operation via Postman, and you pass in the parameters like add, for example, add, and you give some numbers over here like 4 and the other number 7. So this will call your define function over here, and it will execute according to the operation which you have given in the parameter. This is a very basic function, right? But that's what I am doing in my PyCharm module. Uh, Wait. So that's what I'm doing over here also. I'm using the same function with same definition, but I'm adding some extra statements. If request dot method equals to post and these, I'll explain you each and everything that app route at the rate app dot route. This is the another function. Actually, I didn't mention you before. What I'm doing here now. What if we call this function from Postman application? Right now, I haven't told you about Postman. See, this function is written in some other system, for example banking system. Maybe this function is written in banking system, but to call this function from other system, we create another application like Google Pay. But right now I'm not having some other system, right? So Postman is nothing but it's a kind of an application which will test the function which you just created here over here with the help of API generation that is done with the help of this particular line, and it will test your function with providing some raw inputs. So for that you must have you need to install Postman from Google. Just search in Postman and you will you get that application in your system. So this is the interface for the Postman. Uh, right now you will select your collections and you will add your new collection, and which one was, yeah,